What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Gun Guides. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats of every one of the weapons as well as their variants in Infinite Warfare. In today's episode, we're going to be covering one of the guns that launched last week, and this is the Stallion 44. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so hopping into the stats for the base Stallion, keep in mind everything here is hand tested since we don't have access to the hard stats for this. We've got a damage profile of 60, 45, 30. Which means it's always going to be a 2 to 4 shot kill in core game modes and always a 1 shot kill in hardcore game modes. Our rate of fire is quite interesting. When you're hip firing, you have a maximum rate of fire potential of 300 rounds per minute, but when you aim down sight, that gets cut in half and you now have a rate of fire of 150 rounds per minute. Our time to kill when we're hip firing is going to be 200 milliseconds in the 2-shot kill range, 400 milliseconds in the 3-shot kill range, and 600 milliseconds in the 4-shot kill range. When we aim down sight, since we have half the rate of fire, we just double our time to kill values, as you can see there. And as you can very clearly see with the time to kill values, aiming down sight is very detrimental. Your time to kill at 400 milliseconds, that's your fastest time to kill when aiming down sight. That doesn't compete with any of the guns in the game. So the only time I'd ever aim down sight with this gun is first off in hardcore modes, because it's going to be a 1-shot kill. But in core game modes, I would only aim down sight at somebody if they're at a distance, and they're either not paying attention to you, or they're already hurt and you're just trying to finish them off. This is not a practical gun to be running around and constantly aiming down sight and trying to get kills with. Moving on to our aim down sight time, it's very slow for pistols at 230 milliseconds. Still not extremely slow, you're more of like an SMG speed here, but it is slow for pistols. But again, like I said, you shouldn't really be aiming down sight much with this gun anyways. Our sprint out time is extremely fast and in line with the other pistols at 75 milliseconds. Our reload add time is going to be 1.84 seconds, which is relatively slow for a pistol, so I would recommend dexterity on this gun. Movement speed is 98%, which is standard for pistols. Our magazine, or more accurately in this case, our cylinder capacity is 6 rounds, and keep in mind there is no option for extended mags or extended cylinder on this. And our total starting ammo, including the full cylinder when you spawn, is going to be 24 rounds. Getting into our ranges, as you can see here, we've actually got a very solid 2-shot kill range with this. It's about an 18-meter 2-shot kill range. Then our 3-shot kill range extends out to around 25 meters or so, and then it's 4 shots to kill out to infinity beyond then. If you put a suppressor on that, it's going to reduce your ranges by 25%, and rifle barrel will increase your ranges by 20%. Moving on to headshots for the Stallion 44, our standard headshot multiplier is going to be 1.1, which takes our headshot damage profile to a 66, 49, 33, and that means that headshots aren't beneficial at all for the Stallion 44 without hollow point. Once you pop that hollow point attachment on, our headshot damage multiplier is now going to be 1.35, and therefore our headshot damage profile is going to be 81, 60, 40. And this means within the 2-shot kill range, it's not really going to be helping you out at all. But within the 3 as well as the 4-shot kill ranges, just getting 1 headshot will reduce the total number of shots to kill by 1. So in the normal 3-shot kill range, you can pop 1 headshot and 1 body shot and it'll give you a kill. And in the 4-shot kill range, you can pop 1 headshot and then 2 other body shots and you will also get a kill. As for our hipfire spread, it's clearly not very good for pistols, but of course this is a balancing factor. If it was as good as the other pistols, it would be completely overpowered. So I definitely would recommend running laser sight if you're using this gun. One other thing I wanted to mention with the Stallion is the akimbo mode actually changes up a few of your values. It reduces your range values quite noticeably, but that doesn't really matter because you're not going to be hitting long range shots anyways. And it increases your potential fire rate, surprisingly. When you fire this akimbo, your potential fire rate per pistol is now going up to 367 rounds per minute. And if you factor in the fact that you can fire 2 pistols at once, you essentially double that, so that gives us a 734 potential round per minute with the Akimbo Stallions. So if you haven't tried that out yet, I would highly recommend giving it a go. Use Akimbo with the laser sight. It's quite a fun gun to use. So now that we've covered all the important base stats of the Stallion, let's start hopping into the variants. And first up, we've got a common variant called the Gale. The Gale just gives you readiness, which allows you to reload 40% faster when your magazine is low. And low in this case is 1 round or less. So if you have 2 rounds left in your cylinder, it's not going to reload any faster. You have to be down to 1 round or completely empty it, and then you'll reload faster. Moving on to the rare variant, we've got the Cowboy. And the Cowboy gives you sensor as well as stability. Now with sensor, when you shoot an enemy, they will appear red in real time on the minimap for you as well as your teammates, for 3 seconds. This is an excellent weapon perk and helps you track your target very, very easily once you get a hit marker. And then stability is pretty much useless for this gun. First off, we're not typically going to be aiming down sight with this gun, and second, even if you are aiming down sight and firing as fast as possible, you always recenter your shot before your next shot is fired, and therefore the recoil is irrelevant. So stability is completely wasted on this variant. As for the legendary variant, this is the Marshal. This one gives us Refresher as well as Steady, and with Refresher, a 5-player kill streak will restore 1 lethal as well as 1 tactical, and you can do that multiple times in 1 life. And with Steady, we get a 20% reduction to our hipfire spread, and this does stack with Laser Sight. This is a great variant primarily because of the Steady weapon perk, because it's all about hipfire with this gun, and you definitely want to be reducing your hipfire spread as much as possible. So finally, for the epic variant of the Stallion 44, we have the Peacekeeper. And the Peacekeeper gives you Deadeye, which is a brand new weapon perk that's unique to this gun, as well as Readiness. With Deadeye, you get improved range and headshot damage, and it includes a built-in pistol scope. Now, I don't have this particular variant, but thanks to Chaos Ruler 21 on Twitter, he helped me test this a little bit, and I was able to test the ranges as well as the headshot damage, and it turns out our range is increased by roughly 10%. This could definitely help in some situations, but it's not the most important thing with this gun. The really nice thing with this gun is that extra headshot damage. This essentially gives you a free hollow point attachment, so it gives you that 1.35 times headshot multiplier. And you might notice if you have this variant, you can also put hollow point on this gun, but we did some testing with this, and it turns out hollow point is completely wasted on this gun. It does not stack with this weapon perk. It's just completely useless. So if you do have this weapon and you think, oh great, I can stack hollow point on there for some crazy headshot damage, it doesn't stack at all, and you're just completely wasting a point on that attachment. As for Readiness, it behaves exactly the same as on the common variant. So overall, looking at the variants, I would say none of them really stand out significantly. If you don't have any of the variants of this gun, you're not missing out significantly, although I will say if I had my choice of any one of these variants, I would take the legendary variant, which is the Marshal, because of that Steady weapon perk. This is the kind of gun where you're going to be hipfiring it almost all the time, and therefore you want to minimize your hipfire spread. Even with the epic variant, I would say having that extra damage range doesn't help a ton because you're trying to get up close and personal and hipfire anyways. And also, since we're hipfiring, headshots are usually not what you're going for. They just kind of happen randomly and you might get lucky and get your headshots. So overall, I would definitely take the legendary over the epic. As for my preferred setups with this gun, I would say definitely laser sight. As soon as you unlock laser sight for this gun, I would say you should have it on every single one of your Stallion 44s. Aside from that, sometimes I will run the Stallion akimbo. It's really based on what I'm feeling like at the time. But aside from that, there's really no other attachments that I will typically use. I don't really feel like I need to extend my range with rifled barrel, but at the same time, I don't really want to reduce my range with suppressor. Quick draw is kind of useless to me because if I am taking the time to aim down sight, I'm only doing it on somebody that's already hurt or has their back turned to me. And none of the other attachments just really feel like they would help that much with this gun. So I would just say always run laser sights, and if you want to, definitely try out the akimbo attachment. As for perks, I would recommend dexterity for sure, and then everything else is really up to you. Probably scavenger as well, because you're going to be running around, running out of ammo fairly quickly with this. And gung-ho can help if you want to maintain your sprint as you're firing, but you don't need gung-ho to reduce your sprint out time, since your sprint out time is near instant anyways. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's gun guide. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think of the Stallion 44 so far? Do you like the gun? Do you hate it? And what's your preferred setup when using the Stallion? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.